Hello, today I'm going to review X-Men Apocalypse, sequel to X-Men Days of Future Past. We have two X-Men movies this year. First, it was Deadpool, which of course was a great rated R superhero movie in my opinion, but now we have Apocalypse. I became so excited to see X-Men Apocalypse ever since I saw the after credits scene from Days of Future Past. I finally saw it with my uncle in 3D, and it was great! A solid, fun X-Men film I had ever seen. Now I'm going to tell you why I enjoyed this X-Men movie without any spoilers. The story of this film took place in the 80s, while First Class took place in the 60s and Days of Future Past took place in the 70s. It starts off where in ancient Egypt, Apocalypse was the first mutant to be created and was later entombed and asleep for 1,000 years. It cuts to 1983, where Mystique is now the public face of the idea of heroic mutant, while Professor X and Beast runs the School of Mutants. Suddenly, Apocalypse was later awake and wants to find 4 mutants to be his horsemen, so that way he can cause chaos in the whole world. So when Professor X, Beast, Mystique, and all the other mutants is facing a new threat, they must team up together to stop Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen from causing destructions of the world. I think the story of this film was alright. There are some cool moments in the film though. It was awesome to see Cyclops, Jean Grey, Nightcrawler, and Ghibli all went to see Return of the Jedi. The special effects in this film are amazing. I really do enjoy seeing the environments, the buildings, and how the time looks in the 80s. All the mutant powers, like in the previous X-Men movies, are all used in CGI. The makeups and the costume designs in this film are so unique and well designed. The action scenes are the best part of the film. It's really cool to see the fight scenes and the destructions. The battle between the good mutants against Apocalypse and his 4 horsemen was so exciting and intense. The best part of the film for me is where Quicksilver is saving all the mutants from the big explosion in Professor X's school. Now let's get to the acting, directing, music. James McAvoy as always did an incredible job playing young Professor X. Professor X of course is a mutant who is telepathic and the founder of the school for young mutants. Plus we get to know how he becomes bald. James McAvoy I think did just as wonderful as Patrick Stewart. Michael Fassbender still did a great job playing Magneto. Magneto is a mutant who controls metal and he hates humans. Now in this film, Magneto joins Apocalypse to be one of his 4 horsemen. Michael Fassbender did just as great as Ian McKellen. Then there's Mystique, played once again by Jennifer Lawrence. Mystique is a shape-shifting mutant who is now joining the good mutants to fight Apocalypse. Interesting now that Mystique has went from being a villain to a hero. While I enjoy Rebecca Romijn, who plays older Mystique, I enjoy Jennifer Lawrence as Mystique a lot more. Beast, played by Nicholas Hoult, still did an excellent job playing that strong blue furry mutant who acts as a teacher at Professor X's school, and he builds inventions for troubled students. He's even good at driving planes. Nicholas Hoult, I think, did just as nice as Kelsey Grammer, who plays older Beast. Now for the young mutants. Jean Grey, played by Sophie Turner, who is best known as Sansa Stark from Game of Thrones. Cyclops, played by Ty Sarandon. Nightcrawler, played by Cody Smith McPhee. Storm, played by Alexandra Shipp, who is from Straight Outta Compton. Angel, played by Ben Hardy, and Ghibli, played by Lana Condor, all did a splendid job. Jean Grey is a mutant who is scared of using her telepathic power. Cyclops is a mutant who shoots laser beam from his eyes. Nightcrawler is a German mutant who has the ability to transport any places. It is very interesting to know that young Nightcrawler is being played by that teenage boy from Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Storm, of course, is a mutant who controls the weather and also becomes one of the 4 horsemen. Angel is also one of the 4 horsemen that can fight with someone with his wings. Unlike X-Men 3 The Last Stand where Angel didn't have much to do, Angel in this film gets to have more action scenes. Ghibli is a mutant with superhuman power to generate energy from her hands. However, she didn't have any action scenes in this film. While I enjoy Famke Jensen as older Jean Grey, James Marsden as older Cyclops, Halle Berry as older Storm, and Alan Cumming as older Nightcrawler, Sophie, Ty, Alexandra, and Cody did just as good. Returning for X-Men First Class is Moira, played by Rose Byrne, and Havoc, played by Lucas Till. Moira is Professor X's love interest, who is a CIA agent that comes to help Professor X and his mutant friends. Havoc is Cyclops' older brother, who has the ability to absorb energy and release his destructive force from his body. Now for the villain, Apocalypse, played by Oscar Isaac. I think did a fantastic job playing that evil mutant who was so strong, menacing, and his goal was to find 4 mutants to be his horsemen and wants to take over the world. Also one of the 4 horsemen is Psylocke, played by Olivia Munn. Psylocke is a mutant that can teleport and fight someone with her real sword and her purple energy sword. Evan Peters as Quicksilver definitely steals the show and had a much bigger role in this film than in Days of Future Past. Bryan Singer still did a cool job directing this movie. John Ottman returns to do the music for this film since he did a great job doing the music for X-Men 2 and Days of Future Past. The music of this film sounds very exciting, and it was very awesome to listen to the song Sweet Dreams Are Made of This when Quicksilver comes to the rescue. Overall, this is a great X-Men movie. While I wish some of those mutant characters, including Ghibli, should have more screen time, it had some good acting and wonderful action scenes. The best X-Men movie for me will always be Days of Future Past. So I decided that Apocalypse is the 5th best X-Men movie after Days of Future Past, X-Men 1, X-Men 2 United, and First Class. I even enjoyed this X-Men movie the same way I enjoyed Deadpool, The Wolverine, and the 3rd X-Men film, The Last Stand. If you're a fan of X-Men, go give it a watch. Also be sure to check out the after credits scene. I will not give anything away, but it is leading up for the next X-Men film. So I give this movie 4 out of 5 nuclear bombs.